I will be searching for cheap, high-protein items at Walmart. I've been doing strength training and I want to find cheap, high-protein stuff that I can eat because I need a lot of protein to recover and to build muscle. So I'm excited to look for cheap, high-protein items at this Walmart and take you along with me. As you might expect, we're starting in the meat aisle, and the very first thing I see are these chicken tenders. Actually, these ones are chicken nuggets, but I have the other versions of these at home that are chicken tenders, and they're really good. They have 23 grams of protein per serving. The serving is 4 ounces. So if you get like 7 ounces of these, that's 40 grams of protein. And like I said, they're really good. They're just chicken breast rib meat, water, chickpea flour, whey for some extra protein, and then some spices in there. Notably, the Tyson chicken tenders only have 13 grams of protein per serving, which is 3 ounces, but that's still a lot less protein per ounce. But keep watching because there are a lot more super tasty and cheap high protein options later in this video. This ground beef is really lean. It's 93% lean and it's $7.97 per pound. I'm not exactly sure of the macros for 93% lean beef, but it's really good, and this is a pretty good price as well for ground beef. And you can make a ton of stuff with it. You've got burgers, tacos, lasagna, and many more things that you can make with ground beef. Ground turkey is also an amazing lean source of protein. Here it's 3 pounds for $15.84. They show on the package that you can make tacos with it. You can also just cook this up with some seasonings and eat that. You can also add cheese for extra protein. And then you can see there's 22 grams in 4 ounces. So I'd consider that a really good find. However, as good of a deal as the turkey is, the chicken is gonna be a better option, at least as far as price goes. You get 1 pound for $3.84 a pound. And the same amount of protein for 4 ounces. So it's really gonna be a matter of preference whether or not you want the chicken or turkey, but if you're going for absolute savings, definitely go with the chicken. But if you're going for ultimate savings and you don't mind cooking, I'd pick up a whole turkey or turkey breast. They're way cheaper per pound than the chicken and the ground turkey. It's only $1.98 for these turkey breasts. If you're not a big fan of cooking yourself, I have a deal for you. These bags of pre-cooked chicken fajitas are only $2.94, and they're a whole pound with 19 grams of protein per 3-ounce serving. So if you double that serving to like a reasonable 6 ounces, you still have 38 grams of protein. Lunch meats are typically really expensive for the amount of protein that they have. It's not that they have less protein than whole chicken or whole ham or whatever, but they're just so expensive compared to buying the raw meat and cooking it yourself. Yeah, it's $8.54 for 22 ounces of Oscar Mayer turkey, which is also gonna be pumped full of nitrites and nitrates, which are not good for you. Shredded cheese is a great way to top some extra protein onto your meals, especially that fajita chicken that I showed you earlier. And it has 6 grams per 1/3 cup. Not a great calorie to protein ratio, but like I said, it's really easy to get in extra protein this way. Although some may find it gross, cottage cheese is actually a great source of protein. This is the store brand Great Value. This container is dented, but for half a cup, which has 100 calories, you get 11 grams of protein. And for any of these items, I would recommend that you stick with the store brand just because it is cheaper. The store brand typically is nearly as good, if not as good, as the regular brands. These pot roasts will help you get your protein in tremendously. It's $2.44 per pound, and chuck roast is just kind of a leaner meat, especially when you cook it down, that you can turn into almost anything. If I'm in a real pinch, I go with the big bag of pinto beans. I don't see a price listed for these, but there is 8 grams in a 1/4 cup serving with only 100 calories, and they're super easy to cook up. You can also get some rice to go with them, and you can just put it all in a pot or a rice cooker and mix in cheese and seasoning and whatever else you want. and boom, you've got a protein-heavy meal. I want you to look closely at the protein Cheerios. It is $4.44 for the 15-ounce size. If you go over to the regular Cheerios, there are 24 ounces for $5.97. So definitely the regular Cheerios are cheaper, but let's look at how much protein is in the protein Cheerios. 8 grams per serving of 1 cup and 150 calories. So those aren't great macros. You definitely get a lot more protein with eggs and some cheese. And you'll notice that it has all these vitamins and minerals, but they're not actually real vitamins from real plants. They're just chemicals that they make in a lab, and those are not good for you. They may actually hinder your muscle growth. So I would advise that you stay away from those. And it even says it contains a bioengineered food ingredient, or actually bioengineered food ingredients. The protein Cheerios also include quite a bit of sugar, which will also hinder your muscle growth. 24% daily value in 1 serving. To point out that in a regular serving of 1.5 cups of regular Cheerios, you have 10 less calories. It's still 5 grams of protein. Look at the cereal and granola aisle. You will find a plethora of things that claim they have a lot of protein, but when you look at them, they actually don't. And they're really just packed with sugar. And there are many better ways to get your protein in. A great example is the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Now that sounds really good, and it says it has 17 grams of protein, but take a look at the sugar content. 12% for 1.25 cup. You do not want to be consuming that much sugar if you're building muscle and trying to go for high protein. And the Cinnamon Toast Crunch also includes bioengineered food ingredients. The price also just isn't worth it. $8.47 for a 9.2 ounce box. And you might be thinking, what about the granola? Well, granola is supposed to be healthy for you, isn't it? This has 12 grams of protein per serving. Not bad, definitely better than the cereal. But there are 250 calories for 3/4 cup. So you don't even get that much granola. You're consuming a lot of calories. And the total sugars are 12 grams or 24% daily value, more than the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. Like with the cereals, a lot of these protein bars have way too much sugar and barely any protein and are often quite expensive. However, these Kellogg's protein bars, one, they look pretty good, chocolate peanut butter, and they have 12 grams of protein per serving. So good so far. 180 calories per bar, that's pretty typical. And still 6 grams of added sugar, but that's not so bad. Especially considering the price, I'd say these are worth it. But enough with what to avoid. Let's move on to more items that are cheap and high protein. I know I mentioned them earlier talking about how unhealthy the cereal is, so I thought I'd show them to you. The eggs. Let me show you how cheap they are. It's $3.26 for 18 large grade A eggs. And eggs have 6 grams of protein each. So you have 3 of those. They're 70 calories each. So 210 calories, more than the cereal, but you're getting less carbs and 18 grams of protein, which is a lot more than the cereal, and it's gonna cost you way less. Milk is also a breakfast essential, and at Walmart it's really cheap, $2.48 a gallon. You're gonna get 8 grams of protein per cup. I love peanut butter, and to see it at this good of a price is amazing. There's 7 grams of protein in a 2 tablespoon serving. There's a little bit of sugar in there, but there's not like a whole lot. Peanut butter makes a great addition to your breakfast. When you put it on some toast, you get some extra protein, and it just tastes really good. Alternatively, they also have powdered peanut butter. It's $10.48 per container. There's 1 pound and 14 ounces per container, and 60 calories. That's gonna complete my trip to Walmart. I was really surprised by how cheap everything was, and I found some really good finds. I was really surprised though that I didn't see any protein powder. I must have missed it, because surely they have it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.